our feast agendas, the feast agenda.
Ya ngumi.
Ngumi
ni ya kupiga nayo raia ama serikali.
Ngumi ya kupiga the system. The system that is oppressing our people. They have shackled our people with the chains of economic oppression. So we want to break those chains of oppression. And number one, we are saying the main problem we are facing as a country, which legacy politicians don't wish Kenyans to know, is that number one problem in this country is illegal debt. Deni bandia. Deni bandia ni kusema mtu alienda huko akachukua deni kwa jina ya Kenya bila kuzingatia sheria za nchi. Our laws are very clear. You borrow money for development. And for you to borrow, you must get parliamentary approval. So if there's any money that was taken in the name of Kenya that didn't go into any project development, that did not have parliamentary approval, to us as Safina, that debt is illegal and we shall not pay it. And I'll give you an example. Eurobond 1, at least around this public record available for those who followed the story. Eurobond 1, Kenya government took $2 billion US. That's around 200 billion Kenya shillings. When Raila Odinga and CORD that time were making noise questioning that loan, and Raila threatened to occupy the National Treasury, Henry Rotich released the SWIFT transfers to show the movement of that money. And one SWIFT, he was able to show $650 million went to settle an old debt. $350 million here entered consolidated account. So 1 billion accounted for. 1 billion, Henry Rotich released a SWIFT, which was redacted where the money landed. So it shows where the money is coming from, and where it is landing was redacted. It's an account here in Qatar. Now you're telling me that the Kenyan people should pay that debt that is landed in somebody's private account in Qatar. Under Safina administration, we shall not pay. And we will go through the entire list of debts. Monies which were taken without following our laws. The money did not land into Kenya. We will declare those to be odious debt. And the Kenyan people will get a breather. Because today, 70% out of every, 70% of your revenue, that is 70 shillings, for every 100 Kenya shillings the Kenyan people collect, goes to finance that illegal debt. When you declare it illegal, odious, that you are not paying it, that money will be released.
Okay.
And it is released, takes me to our agenda number 2.
What do Before you go to the second agenda,
okay.
I asked you the question, how much of this odious debt you're talking about?
As per our forensic audit, which we did, that covered the period 2013 to 2023, done by Jimmy Wanjiki, the Kenyan people were owed 1.3 trillion. If you take what Parliament approved as debt, which was 2 trillion, what Parliament approved, vis-a-vis what we paid as debt finance, we are owed money. We overpaid what Parliament approved. So all this money you're talking about, 11 trillion that you're talking about as our debt, back of it is illegal, odious. We will not pay it.
So we don't have any debt.
We don't have debt. We are owed money. If our should be asking us, is just beyond declaring it odious, are you going to go after these people who are holding our money? Yes, we will. We'll ask them to pay us back if we overpaid.
And who is holding this illegal money?
It is banks, sovereign bonds abroad, some local banks here who buy domestic treasury bills and bonds illegally, that are not financing any project, that have not been approved by Parliament. We will not pay. We will tell them to pay us back our credit, 1.3 trillion.
These administrations exist for posterity.
And
you take over the responsibility from where you got it from.
I hear you.
Yes. We know the public debt, when Kibaki was coming in, was about 1 trillion.
Yes, 1.
And then Uhuru Kenyatta left it at 8.7 trillion in 2022, September. Yes. And now it is at 11 trillion. The current administration has borrowed 3 trillion shillings.
In 3 years. So
yes, in 3 years.
Every successive administration is bound by the decisions of the previous administration. But only to the extent that if it was legal. Kenya is a sovereign state. It's a republic, not a monarchy. A republic is governed by the law. Even the president, the current, the former, and the ones who were there before him, are bound by the laws. So nobody can walk out into the market and say, I'm the president of Kenya, give me a loan of 1 trillion, and you give him. You should ask him, yes, we agree you're the president of Kenya. What does your laws say about borrowing? Your laws say you can only borrow with parliamentary approval. Give me your parliamentary approval for this particular loan. You've given me, take. Give me the project that we are financing with this loan. Here it is, take. I'll disburse the money. But if you just give him money without doing your due diligence, and he's a president of a republic, not a monarch, he's not a king, he's not King Mswati, whose word is the law. He is a president of a republic, he's bound by the law, and you just give him, and you ignore the laws, then how does that loan become a sovereign debt? Because when you talk about a sovereign debt, the guarantor is the sovereign. It's guaranteed by the sovereign, who are the people.
Okay.
So the people, in that case, will repudiate and say, the person you gave the money didn't have the authority of the sovereign. That is why it is important that we get parliamentary approval. And the people lending this money must do their due diligence.
Okay. Out of this debt, do you have individuals? You've talked about banks, and you're a lawyer. We can't mention them here. But about the individuals, do you have a list of people you think have put us in this hole?
Of course. The persons who opened an account in JP Morgan, the accountant general and his deputy, who are handling this Eurobond proceeds, that the Constitution says all revenue of Kenya government must be paid into the consolidated fund, right, at the Central Bank of Kenya. But somebody goes and opens an account at JP Morgan in the US, is not the Central Bank of Kenya governor. And from that account, they disburse money. That is how Sam ended up in Qatar. So the accountant general and his deputy, the people who signed presidential warrants to pay for the legal debts, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, who are presidents signing of presidential warrants, they'll become persons of interest. Right? And the list goes down. So this haste was done with people, or with the connivance of people who are serving in senior positions in the Kenyan Republic. And they're now trying to transfer this responsibility to the sovereign. That is what Safina is saying, we will not allow. The sovereign cannot be made to pay for that which was taken without following the sovereign's law.
Okay.
The individuals responsible and the banks responsible should take responsibility. And the best example, as I conclude that part, when Kenya took Eurobond, one, Mozambique took Tuna Bond. The amount was exactly 2 billion, like Kenya. Same amount, same period. Mozambicans went to court and they said this debt is illegal. It is odious. It was taken without following our laws. It was not applied to any project in Mozambique. We will not pay. The court in Mozambique said don't pay. In as much as even people in the administration, government were saying we should pay. The court said don't pay. That debt is odious, it is illegal. What happened? The then Minister of Finance, jail. Head of Intelligence, jail. Then President San, who was the financial arranger, one of the financial people behind the scheme, jail. Credit Suisse, the financial arranger, collapsed. Executives at Credit Suisse, jail.
You also had some other issues that you were planning to do, and one of them was to reduce the VAT from 16% to 5%.
I want you to understand the history of our police force. I'll call it a police force for now, because it's no longer serving the people of Kenya. When the Mzungu came here with a company called Ibiako, they had askaris, watchmen, who were protecting the company's property, assets. The land that they had occupied, Kenyan land, was part of the company's assets. They employed watchmen to protect the company's assets from who? The natives, the Kenyans. When that company went bankrupt, the British government took over its assets, including Kenya. The employees of the company became the civil servants. The watchmen became the police. Their mindset was that the Kenyan people are the enemies. We are supposed to be protecting the assets of the company. That is the institutional culture and mindset of our police today. Seeing Kenyans as the enemy, and their duty is to protect the company. That company mutated to become the government of Kenya. So the police sees themselves as protectors of the political leadership, legacy politicians, and who are now the shareholders. And you see them talking about shareholding. Because to them, these are company. And the enemy is the people. We've done all manner of reforms. The Ransley report, Maraga report, all manner. We even amended the constitution. But how comes we've not been able to deal with the issue of police brutality, extrajudicial killings? You go to a police station today, the first question a policeman asks is, unataka nini? You meet you on the street, unaenda wapi? You are an enemy to be treated as such, because they don't see themselves as a service. So this is our proposal. We are saying, let's go the sheriff way. Let's elect the sheriff in terms of command of the police.
Wait a minute. So, repeat that again. We want to get it clearly.
I want to understand. The problem has been when these policemen are serving, they are serving as agents of legacy politicians, right? That is why they'll tell you orders from above. You are arrested here now, Emmanuel, and the alleged offense is something even civil, that you abused someone. You'll be detained for 2 days until Monday. When your lawyers go to check your family, go to the police station, they're told, no, we are holding him because of orders from above.
Okay.
Above is in Nairobi. That
So
time
your
you are being
proposal-
held in Kisumu. So we are proposing this. This above, we must unpack it. At the command level, at every division, there is an OCPD who exercises command responsibility over the units in that division. That OCPD today is appointed here in Nairobi by legacy politicians. I'm saying, let the OCPD be elected by the people of that division. We call him the sheriff. In the US, they have the sheriff system. Citizens elect the sheriff, who is in charge of their security. They elect commissioners, some areas. So also us, we want the above to be the OCPD who derives his mandate not from a legacy politician, but from the people who reside in that division. Such that if there is any breakdown of law and order in that division, if there is insecurity, the people know that the person who is responsible is this our elected OCPD. And that OCPD, I further say, he can be a policeman or a civilian. If he's a civilian, you take him through a 2 month, 3 months training on administration and command responsibility. Officers deployed in that division are under his control.
Okay. So, in your plan, is it your plan or the party's plan?
This is the party's plan.
Okay.
This is Safina's party's plan.
Okay. So, how many sheriffs should
We
we
will have 519.
519 sheriffs.
Yes.
Did you come?
That is, we're using the
that
police
number?
divisions.
Okay.
Yeah, we're using the existing police divisions.
So,
There are
519.
519 OCPDs.
Uh-huh.
Let the appointment be through an election by the people who reside in that division. Then now, the people will have ultimate control. The police will now be about serving the people. And at the second tier, this is what we are proposing also. If police is meant to be a service, you know very well education is a service. Health is a service. Go to every school in this country. There's a school board of management. Go to every hospital, there's a board. These are services. How comes there's no equivalent board constituted by civilians for every police station? We are also further proposing that in terms of administration at every police station, the local community must elect members of a board who oversees the work of that police station. They act as an oversight, so that in case somebody is being held in the cells, they are able to walk in and ask, why is Emmanuel Cho being held in this cell? It's 3 days since he was arrested, not been taken to court. He should go to court. Why is this inmate injured? Where did he get these injuries from? In the cells or outside? What was the manner of the injury were inflicted? Why has not been taken to get medical attention?
Okay.
Why is this one not admitted to cash bail? These are an offense that is bailable. You give cash bail, you will appear in court on Monday.
Okay.
And further, which is more important, I don't want to lose it, just if you allow me. In terms of even when you deploy policemen to demonstration, to supervise demonstration, to oversee demonstrations by civilians, at the police station, when you issue them with firearms and ammunition, this oversight body should be able to account for every firearm and every ammunition issued to every police officer. If even a single firearm was fired.
News will invest 2.5 billion shillings to boost agricultural funding for small and medium enterprise.
Issued to every police officer. If even a single firearm was fired, they should be able to tell this firearm was issued this officer. It was fired. There's an incident report that shows circumstances in which it was fired. If there were injuries, the nature of injuries, why was it fired, and what action was taken.
Okay. So, Akili, this thing you're proposing, how is it going to be? Will the police, first of all, accept it? Because you're bringing a civilian, probably, if the civilian is the one who is going to win, to command the police. How is it going to work?
When that civilian is elected as the sheriff, he becomes the commander.
Without training,
that position, he will be trained. He will be taken to a training. You can do a 3 months training
but you know, Wakili, constant. For that position, you also need some experience.
No. What happens is this:
you can't train experience.
This is a question of not just experience. This is a question of sovereignty. Ultimate sovereignty vests in the people. If the sovereign has chosen someone to superintend over their security, the police service cannot say that we don't recognize what the sovereign has said. And they will establish it in the law that this becomes a commander. Right? And they'll have to obey the command from their commander.
Hi Kenyans, mi sina maneno mengi. All I want to say is Ruto must go, like yesterday. Bye.
Enyewe Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.